This is not a good movie. Why am I reviewing it? We'll get there soon enough. Alright everybody, it's been a while since we went right down Grindhouse Sleaze Lane, so I figured what the hell, it's about time we visited again. So we're going back to look at 1984's The Warrior and the Sorceress. But before we go any further, once again, and as always, to the trailer.
Journey now to an age undreamed of, an age of mystery and magic. Of swords and sorcery. The warrior and the sorceress on a planet lit by twin suns. Evil warlords battle to control the fate of an entire dynasty. A mighty warrior rises out of legend to free an enslaved sorceress.
There was a time when I could command, and I would obey.
Together, they forge the mystical sword whose blade cannot be broken. The ultimate struggle between good and evil. Sorcery. Dungeons. David Carradine in The Warrior and the Sorceress. The mightiest of all heroes. In the greatest of all adventures. The Warrior and the Sorceress. Their sacred bond cannot be broken.
Okay, this motion picture was directed by John Broderick. Now, he did stuff like, Bad Georgia Road. He did Bed Full of Forgiveness. And he produced shit like, Howling Six and Jocks and The Ladies Club. You get it. He made sludge. But it is what it is. And that's where we're at. Let's keep going to the cast. Okay, everybody, starring as the Dark One, a.k.a. Cain the Warrior. And they actually named him Kain in this. You'll get why that's fucked up in a minute. But is David Carradine. I could do a whole channel on just David Carradine movies. Honest to God. He's been in so much shit. Anyway, let's get going. He was in stuff like Death Race 2000, which I already reviewed and I love. And Big Stan, and Kill Bill, and Bound for Glory, really good movie. And The Long Riders, which is awesome. And, Full Blast, and Natural Selection, and Cue the Winged Serpent, which I'm going to do at some point because it was awesome, and Make 'Em Count in Jail, Cloud Dancer, and Death Sport, which I almost reviewed in this episode, and I'm going to do a couple down the line. And of course, he played Kain, or Kwai Chang, Kain, on Kung Fu, the TV series. And that's really who he will always be to everybody. Did I say Lone Wolf McQuaid in there anywhere? Maybe I did, maybe I did. I can't remember. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, everybody, playing Zeg the Tyrant was Lou Askew. Now, he has been around in a million things. I'm talking huge career. He was in stuff like Frailty, and Cool Hand Luke, and Dune Warriors, and Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, and The Magnificent Seven Ride, and Night of the Serpent, and Easy Rider, and The Green Berets, and Will Penny, and the Devil's Brigade, and everything from fucking Bonanza to Cannon on TV and all that kind of shit. As soon as you see his face, if you're of my age, man, you know that face. You might not know the name, but you know the face. Okay, playing Naja, the Sorceress, was Maria Socas. Now, it is what it is. Let's just start spitting out some names. She was in stuff like Deathstalker 2, and Wizards of the Lost Kingdom, and Soldiers, and Funny Dirty Little War, and Hollywood Boulevard 2, and actually I think it was Soldier's Revenge, now I think about it. Well, whatever. she was in that kind of flick, people. It is what it is. Okay, playing Zeg's captain. Kief, however you pronounce it, who the fuck cares? Is Anthony DeLongis. Now, you remember him, man? He was fucking Morthon from Circle of Iron with David Carradine that I talked about episodes ago because I love that movie. Anyway, been in a lot of shit. He was in stuff like Circle of Iron, which I said, Jaguar Lives, and Roadhouse with Swayze himself, and Masters of the Universe, and Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, and Expect No Mercy, and massive amounts of TV. We're talking Sledgehammer, and Santa Barbara, and Renegade, and Star Trek Voyager, and MacGyver, and V, and Murder, She Wrote, and the A-Team, and Matt Houston, if you remember that. Anyway, big career, been in massive amounts of shit, always plays a cool guy, you know, that cool guy back, whatever the fuck it is, but he does a good job of what he does. Whatever. Okay, playing Balakaz with Guillermo, Marin. Now, was in a bunch of stuff in Argentina, but not a bunch of stuff anybody is going to know, and not a bunch of stuff I've seen, so I have no idea what this man has been in, and it's just a bunch of stuff that I would never have witnessed, so I'm not going to sit here and try to glorify it. Yep. Nope. Let's keep going. Okay, playing Bogue the Prelate. It's Harry Towns. Hey. Was in a lot of shit. We're talking about he was in stuff like The Mod Squad and Star Trek and Quincy and Falcon Crest and Buck Rogers and The Incredible Hulk and BJ and the Bear and Magnum P.I. and Emergency. Remember that show with the fire trucks and the fucking... Anyway, and he was on Kung Fu with the Carradine man himself. So, long career, big careers, a TV staple for fucking ever. Is what it is. Let's get going to the story, which you'll see. Okay, everybody. I'm going to try to do this in 90 seconds or less. I can probably do it in a minute or less because it is what it is. We're going to keep it fast, keep it entertaining, keep going so we can get to the summation where we're going to spend most of our time and have the most fun. The story is this. Kain, the warrior, comes into a town. The town has two warlords that are fighting over this well where they can control the water. He befriends one side for money, secretly befriends the other side for money. He plays both ends against each other. And in the middle of it, he falls for this hot chick who's running around naked all the time named Naja, the Sorceress. Yes, if any of this sounds fucking familiar, because it's basically a fistful of dollars, which means it's really Yojimbo. Down the line, right to the heart of the matter. It's Yojimbo. Period. That's all it is. You seen that? You seen a fistful of dollars? You fucking seen this. Except this. I'll point out some differences. Let's get going to the summation. Okay, everybody. Here's the story. If this movie is really such schlock and such shit, why am I recommending it so much? Because it's just that. It's unrepentant in what it is. It's in your face with what it is. This motion picture gives two fucks not and smacks you right in the face with what it was supposed to be. A low-budget shit flick, sword and sorcery flick, loaded with an amazing amount of titties, and loaded with fight scenes left and right. It doesn't try to be anything more than that. Let's face it, the directing style, it's fairly solid, I guess, but, you know, it's TV show quality at most. It's forgettable. You're not going to remember it and say, oh, this thing was directed well. The acting, I mean, let's be fucking real. Everybody is just so overacting, it's almost, almost nauseating, actually. And David Carradine, I don't know what the fuck he was doing in this motion picture. Normally, David Carradine kind of plays an aloof character. You know what I mean. He's kind of like, you know, walk softly, carry a big stiff, but he has this hidden confidence about him that kind of like carries him through everything where you're like, this guy ain't acting like a badass, but he can seriously fuck somebody up. He's not that in this movie. He is arrogant, in your face, cocky, and not in a cool way like in Lone Wolf McQuade, but in a asshole-ish, goofy way where you're just like, this guy's a fucking twat waffle. I don't even understand what's going on here. And he throws in everything that the Carradine has learned to do over the years whenever he's trying to act arrogant. You know, the shoulder shrug. the face. You know, all that shit. He plasters it on this motion picture, and you gotta love it just for that. There's parts of this motion picture where you're just watching it going, did they even try? Because it's obviously a giant styrofoam set. It looks like a high school play production. It really, really does. Everything is just styrofoam rocks, styrofoam walls, styrofoam everything. And from people bumping into the shit, the paint is scratched off all this stuff everywhere. And you can see white underneath it. So it doesn't even look remotely like fucking rock. It's just ridiculous. There's a great scene in the motion picture where he goes down there and these people have been poisoned and he picks up the leather satchel, the leather packet that they were drinking out of. And as he's holding it, you are seeing the end of a 1970s hot water bottle. You know, the kind that everybody's grandma had in their goddamn medicine cabinet. You remember? They were always red with a little white screw toppy thing. And he's holding it right into the fucking camera. And you can see it there. You can see it. And they didn't say, hey, Dave, turn it up. Just hold it like, no, fuck it. Why bother? Who cares? And some of that acting in this movie is just really queasy. I mean, some of it is just bizarre. Some of it is just odd. Where you actually feel kind of like grossed out. Like you got these two little guys running around. You're like, what am I watching? This makes me feel unsettled. And Balkaz is just fucking weird. He's always like, oh, with this lizard. And it's just, it makes you feel unsettled and freaky. It's just, ugh. But, like I said, all that is secondary and doesn't make a bit of fucking difference. You are here to watch a movie that just said, we're going to get a semi-A, B, whatever, list star. We're going to throw him in this fucking movie. We're going to surround it with tits and tits and tits. And when we run out of tits, we're going to get women with 4 tits and put them on the screen and give you more tits. I mean, literally, Maria Socas never gets dressed in this motion picture. If you think that they went to town with like Mathilda May and Life Force, that is nothing. Nothing compared to how far they took it with this. This was the shit of legend. On a high note, beyond that, the sword fighting scenes, especially the one with David Carradine and Anthony DeLongis, is actually really, really good. A lot of the other sword fight scenes, you can just kind of like, well, whatever, you know what I mean? It's a lot of David Carradine going, whoo, to people's backs and they just drop for no fucking reason. You know, goofy shit like that. But the final sword fight in this thing, yeah, not bad. It was actually pretty damn good. I was kind of stunned. You know what I mean? I had forgotten it. Watched it the other night. I'm like, you know, the sword fight in this thing is as bad as I remember it being. Fucking, hey, 2 stars for that. But all in all, the reason I'm recommending this film is just because it is so fucking ridiculous about their intentions. They didn't care. They wanted to give you what they thought you wanted. Yes, Conan the Barbarian had sword fights and a little bit of this. Yes, the Beastmaster had sword fights and a little bit of this. Yes, the Sword and the Sorcerer had sword fights and a little bit of this. And they were all infinitely better than this motion picture. But none of them even came close to just saying, you want it, take it, and throwing it in your face for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And for that, you gotta check it out. Okay, everybody, have a good one. Take care. Be good to a stranger. Help your fellow man. But above all else, don't ever take any bullshit from anybody. Be good. See you soon.